Shaun Attwood here of National Geographic Channel's Banged Up Abroad with The Other Side Productions. Today we're on number 3 of our prison survival advice series, What to Do in a Prison Riot. I'm going to describe a riot situation I got caught up in jail in Phoenix, Arizona. At that point in time, there were 4 major gangs in the pod I was housed in: whites, blacks, Mexicans, Mexican Americans. Each gang had a head. The head of the blacks was a very tough guy. He was a trained fighter, boxer, and he was bullying members of all of the races out of commissary, items from the inmate store that we could eat. And you're very hungry now, so your food is like gold. So many prisoners started complaining to the heads of their respective races about this guy that the 3 heads got together, whites, Mexicans, Mexican Americans, and said, what should we do about this? So they decided to each send in a torpedo to attack this guy. And as backup, they had additional torpedoes waiting outside the guy's cell. The day all this jumped off, I was on the phone to my girlfriend in the bedroom. When the head of the blacks went back to his cell on the upper tier, the 3 torpedoes entered the cell and started to smash him. The blacks at the table downstairs heard the commotion and they started to run up the stairs. All of the other torpedoes then started to push them down the stairs, and the whole 45-man pod just erupted into a riot. Guys were attacking each other over there. People were picking up mops and brooms and doing ninja moves with them. Now, the 2 guards on duty in the fishbowl that day were particularly tough. One of them, he saw what was going on, put on a spacesuit, grabbed a fire extinguisher sized canister of chemical spray, and I'm trying to get up the stairs now to get back to my cell. Fortunately, he starts to spray the guys doing the ninja moves with the mops and the brooms first. As soon as that spray hits the atmosphere, your eyes just run with water, snot drips out of your nose and it stings your eyes. I was able to finally get into my cell. I had an old-timer cellmate back then, and he said, look, to stop the chemical spray from hurting your eyes, what you do is you wet a towel, wrap it around your head, and you blink over and over and over, and that washes the chemical spray out. Now, the guys in the cell of the head of the blacks were still fighting. The white torpedo had put the head of the blacks in a headlock, but because he was such a proficient fighter, he knew what to do in that situation. He stepped back, sandwiched the white guy against the wall, put his head forward, flicked it back, and instantly broke the white guy's nose. The guards opened up with the spray into the cell and they were fighting blind. His nose was pointing in a whole new direction, he had blood all over him. And he looked up to the guard and he said in his polite cowboy twang, do you mind if I put my nose back in please before you handcuff me? The guard just looked at him like he was crazy. He got his hand and he just went crack, put his nose back into place. Now, if you are in a riot situation like this, often you can't just go and hide out in your cell. The people are going to expect you to represent your race. So if you're hiding out in your cell, you're not showing heart, and your own people, your own race, are going to end up attacking you and smashing you because of that. So if you're a skinny, nerdy guy like me, I would suggest that you get near some big people who are clustered as an effective wall of protection. If it's a heavy-duty situation outdoors and people are going to have weapons, then you need some body armor. And the recommended body armor in prison is National Geographic magazine. You want to strap the magazines around your body and put under your clothes, and then if someone tries to shank you, that's an effective means to stop them shanking you. If you think you need a shank to protect yourself, I'm not recommending you go around stabbing people, but if it's going to get to that level where you know if you have a shank it might protect you, know where the shanks are buried on the yard. Might put people off coming at you if you've got a shank. Obviously, if you're in a riot situation, fighting skills are going to come in handy. If you've got martial arts skills, you know, bird beak strike, just pop a person's eyeball out. I know a guy who popped eyeballs out twice and the prisoners left him alone after that. If you can brush up on some fighting skills, that would help you in a riot situation as well. That's number 3 in our prison survival advice, and we look forward to coming back to you with some more here soon. Cheers.